There's a very high chance that you, the person who just clicked on this video, has already participated in one of the following things: watching more than 2 Japanese cartoons with subtitles, engaging in parasocial 2D relationships, defending your whole existence online because a guy with a Shadow the Hedgehog profile picture called you a Kuma for publicly liking Genshin Impact characters in a birth suit, or you once were struggling to make a decision about whether or not you should buy a protective cover for your new Shy Lily body pillow. If even one of those things is something you've experienced yourself, then chances are you're a filthy weeb. And if not, you might be on your way becoming one. A frowned upon human being, incapable of social interaction, and a failure in the eyes of everyone who feels morally superior for censoring the word lolly on online forums. It doesn't matter where you're from, who you are, or what you do for a living. As a weeb, you are hated for one very specific thing: existing. And in that aspect, being a weeb isn't really that different from being a furry. Sure, there's a big difference when it comes to cosplay versus fursuit, and we use a slightly different definition of the word grooming, but the outcome is the same. But don't worry about all the hate you'll get, because the anime community got your back. Pens a swastika on it and chains you onto the gates of the Berlin government while blasting the NTR song and calling your favorite waifu trash. But silly jokes aside, you might wonder what the negatives of being part of the anime community actually are. And the answer is yes. And if you thought the gaming segment was the Wild West of communities, then the anime community could probably be an accurate example of what a modern day purge would look like. As a weeb, the type of people who will despise you the most are other weebs. The many fandoms inside the anime community are so vastly different and diverse that it kinda makes you wonder why we are not the ones called woke. But that also should mean that you'll be fine as long as you keep interacting with your specific fandom, right? Absolutely wrong. Because we can't forget that your specific fandom will have specific sub-fandoms and individual titles that you must be wary of. To explain it in a better way, this is the shonen fandom. Let's just think of it as the big brother. And here is the Boruto sub-fandom. Now let's think of this one as the obnoxious and spoiled little sibling. You kinda tolerate them, but there are times where you start thinking that anime was indeed a mistake. But let's hold our heads up high for now, because there's still some hope left. A way you'll be able to thoroughly enjoy your time as a weeb when it comes to interacting with the otaku fandom of your choice. Just don't. But if you're fully committed, slightly masochistic, or already too far gone, I've got just the thing for you. Wait, that's the number of my therapist. There we go. A very basic but 100% truthful guideline on what kind of individuals almost every weeb will encounter on their odyssey into degeneracy. Chapter 1. Hold the door. Whether you're new to anime culture or already a certified 2D connoisseur, the moment you want to check out another genre, series or fandom, they will be there. The second most annoying creature we will cover here today, and one you will have to deal with whenever trying out something new. The gatekeeper doesn't see the action of gatekeeping as a bad thing. They're proud of it, and most of the time are so far gone that they will not even realize that your standard anime watcher doesn't give a single fuck about what they're saying. Still, if you're using any kind of social media, you will probably encounter them, and as a rule of thumb, the more niche the fandom, the more aggressive its gatekeepers will be. Because as everyone knows, the growth of your favorite series is tantamount to a percentage loss in overall edginess. About dealing with them, that's easy. Just ignore them. Or take the more fun route and intentionally spread misinformation about the topic in question where they can see it and make them waste their time even more. Gatekeepers can be annoying, yes, but they're also not really good at their job. Meaning that once you don't respond to their bullshit, they'll be already on to the next target. But with all that said, not every kind of gatekeeping is necessarily bad, because there are certain types of people you might not want to welcome into your fandom in order to keep your sanity intact. But a handful elite weeps doing God's work is not enough to cleanse the Cheetos cover stigma off of the whole group, and that's why they're still the second worst. Only topped by one special breed of weep where I personally wish the gatekeepers would be a little bit more successful in what they are doing. Chapter 2. Yeah, but can he beat Goku?
Wow, that is nuts!
How am I gonna say this in a nice way? Let me see. Do you know the scene of Jurassic Park where the cool looking sunglasses guy acknowledges this gigantic pile of dinosaur shit?
That is one big pile of shit.
That's the reaction of every sane anime fan on Twitter scrolling through at least 10 posts revolving around why less interesting Naruto's ass cheeks can easily tank a direct hit from Luffy in Gear 17 without using alien powers. And I'm sorry I have to say this, but no one can escape it, not even non-anime fans, because just like how their arguing skills managed to transcend into spectrums no thinking being ever deemed possible, the power scales themselves broke through the boundaries of mediumistic limitations in their quest to show everyone how immensely annoying they can be. But well, that's a part of the community you will have to get used to, and sometimes they do be kinda funny, so that's something, I guess. And of course Sukuna would get completely fucked by Buggy the Clown. Fight me. Chapter 3. It clearly shows that you haven't read the manga.
You idiot!
Talking about an anime with someone who has also or only read the manga can go two different ways. Either they're completely chill about it, and at worst you will only hear a "just wait for it" from them, or you're being confronted with one of the most obnoxious people the community has to offer. Manga readers are a curse and a blessing at the same time. They can give you context, go into detail, and be a helpful part of the community, or they read Jujutsu Kaisen and spoil you the story 0.2 seconds after the new chapter got released. What? You didn't read the new chapter already? Well, your fault. Bitch. Aside from occasional spoilers, as an anime and especially anime only watcher, you also need to be careful of the manga reader's evolved form, the manga purist. Those are the ones who feel superior to you because they spend their time reading comics, while you are sitting on your lazy ass and only read subtitles. And even if you do read some manga and have a slightly different opinion about something, they'll just start typing out a whole novel about why and how you are wrong. All validated by the amount of time they have reread the manga in question. That, in a sense, makes the manga purist quite similar to another type of weeb. Chapter 4. Let me show you how to consume the right way. Aside from all the plebs that watch less than 200 shows a year, the absolute scum that is called dub watchers,
use the Jigen Ryu Kendo technique,
and self-proclaimed Fate fans that didn't Google search the recommended watch order even once, we have the elitist. A person who decided to exchange their likable personality traits with very specific knowledge and some nitty tools that are helping fasten their superiority complex. They're the kind of weeps who know their stuff, and are very vocal about it. If you never thought about all the things you could do wrong by doing stuff like watching teenagers fighting bad people, talking about what your number one anime is, or not knowing what happened on page 12 in One Piece chapter 448, no worries, the elitist got you covered. Mostly with insults, but covered nonetheless. Chapter 5. Don't shit on love life if you love your life. Idle anime fans are just like those people who love spending their free time playing flight simulation games, building railways for their model trains in their basement, or collecting butterflies. They're a psychopath. I mean, they are very dedicated. And as long as you respect them and don't do anything stupid, they are very chill and welcoming, and actually one of the nicer people you will encounter aside from pure moral enjoyers, and especially Gundam fans, because they're just happy having someone they can talk with. But when it comes to nice groups in the anime community, there are only few that will come close to the next one. Chapter 6. Just don't look at my Twitter likes. There is absolutely no way you will not meet this next individual on a daily basis. Whether by seeing them repost fanart of their favorite VTuber or anime character, following them getting involved in the 20th anti-hentai discussion this week, or encounter them philosophizing about which show this season was the most degenerate one. The so-called cultured folk consists of the nicest, funniest, and probably most chill people you will have the pleasure of meeting online. The only major drawbacks of interacting with this part of the anime community are that everyone and their mom will call you a porn addict the moment they find out you liked a picture of Hatsune Miku's armpit, and that no one ever provides the fucking sauce. On the shitposting spectrum, you will find them right in the middle, encircled by JoJo bros, moe enjoyers, the Toho community, and Fate fans. The cultured ones seem like they have mastered being in a constant state of post-nut clarity, but that's not entirely the case. The reason why it is so hard to find bad apples here is because those who weren't already chill at first ditched their toxic online personality for being horny on main, and those who failed erasing the first part nowadays spend most of the time playing Genshin Impact or did get stuck on a 20-year-old image board. Which means the chances of actually meeting someone unpleasant here are completely dependent on 1. Are you using 4chan? And 2. MiHoYo's update cycles. To round this chapter up, I also want to mention the formerly secluded Tumblr immigrants, also known as Hujoshi. They're just as horny and just as chill, as long as all of you do is nod and smile whenever you come across one. Which also is the perfect strategy dealing with the last and biggest group of the anime community. Last chapter, the filthy casual. Not as vocal, maybe not as knowledgeable, and definitely not the epitome of refined taste, we have the casual. The reason anime became more and more mainstream over time, the enjoyer of vanilla ice cream, buttered toast, and sparkling water. And the, if we are completely honest, only reason diehard anime fans are able to feel special about what they are. The casual is just vibing and trying to have a good time. More often than not, they don't even interact with any specific fandom because those losers live a life outside of binge watching 2D shows of the past 40 years. If you happen to interact with one though, try to be nice, because they just might turn out to be the customs employee you have to deal with when collecting your body pillow. But anyway, to all of you who are just starting out becoming an anime fan, have fun and don't get discouraged interacting with your fandom. And to those who are already deep in, I'm sorry about that. And if you are sorry for a guy in his late 20s trying to become relevant on the internet by talking about anime, then hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of my stuff in the future, and activate the bell for good intestinal health. As always, I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, peace.